What's up, you guys? This is Warframe Guy Plays, and today on #confirmed, we're going to be digging into Devstream 102 and cracking that whip on 2017. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, I've actually got a podcast happening later tonight, so unfortunately, I don't think that I'd have the time to script and edit all of this, so I figured I would go ahead and just do a little bit of an outline. We'll cover all the things that we need to cover, but it might not be as sharp and concise as usual, so my apologies for that. But you know what? Today is a working day for me, and I gotta do what I gotta do. So let's go ahead and jump into the non-asseted content, because, you know, it's the assets that we're really looking after. So let's knock this out real quick. They did confirm for us the Hydroid Prime trailer would be coming out eventually. Don't worry, they're not overlooking it. It's not going to be completely gone. It's kind of going to be like that Valkyr Prime trailer where they had, you know, the little dioramas, and then after that, you know, after they finished the Banshee Prime trailer, they went ahead and released the Valkyr. So they're just following suit from that previously. Don't worry, Hydroid is going to get his moment to shine. Moving on, they did mention in passing, and this is kind of what I do for the non-asseted content. I just kind of hear things that they're talking about and kind of toss them out here. They did mention that the Kingpin system is stuck in the mud currently. So there's no mention or movement on that at the moment, but I'm sure that they'll find a way to revisit it in 2018. Moving on to something kind of interesting, and maybe the reason that the Kingpin system is stuck in the mud is that the Venus tile set, the Venus set that they've been working on, and listen, take this with a grain of salt, because the reality is, you know, sometimes things come out late. They did say that Venus is set to ship, and that they're going to try to ship it in spring. Okay, not set to ship, but they're planning on shipping it in spring. In spring, which is the first quarter of next year. Is that first quarter of next year? It's something along those lines, but legit. That's pretty gosh darn early, but apparently we may see Venus as early as spring. Moving along from that, they did, and this will tie into some of the things that you'll see later, they did say that emotes would now work inside of the ship, because now you'd be able to have other players in your ship, because, you know, we saw all those bugs, we knew all of those kings were coming through, and that it was about time. And they also mentioned in passing that custom operator idols based on their schools would actually be available as well, and that you'd actually be able to stand up in your customization screen for your operator. So operators are going to get focus school based idols, and in addition, you're going to be able to stand them up when you customize them, which is pretty freaking awesome. Now, moving on to the first asseted content, I keep calling it comment, but it's content, is that they showed us very, very quickly that we would be able to build our own obstacle course. This is something that they covered in a previous dev stream, and there's a bunch of different parts. They said don't pay attention to the costs or anything, but the most interesting thing that they kind of put out here is the fact that there would actually be a potentiality for combat in there. So I was like, ooh, so this is going to work like almost maybe like a mastery rank test. So I thought that this would be very interesting. It's not something that I'm super heavily invested in, but I'm like, ooh, we could kind of like make our own interesting versions of mastery rank tests in the dojo, and it's a pretty neat feature. Moving along from that, on a more personal level, they showed off the new personal quarters in the goddamn orbiter. This is fucking fantastic. So you know that area in our ship where we have the extra door off to the side, well, they showed off what's going to be inside, and it's going to be this awesome room that's all about customization, to be completely honest with you. So you'll actually have different parts where you can set up your warframes on each side with like the loadouts and like the color schemes and everything. Now y'all know I don't actually have any loadouts, but apparently for this I'm gonna need to use them, because I gotta have my little Iron Man moment where we're looking at all of our pretty suits. Moving along from that, on each side of those kind of like suit areas, we actually have fish tanks. So we've been talking about fishes for a long time, where you can fish in the plains, and now you'll actually have fish tanks in your ship. The interesting thing about this is it will only work with small fish. So you know how everybody wants really, really large fish and you get more standing, get more stuff from baits? Now, the small guys get a chance to shine. So you'll be able to put those fish into different tanks. They were talking about fish paths and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really paying attention to it. All you know is you can put fish in the fish tanks. Now, in the center of the room, there is this massive console, and I think they were calling it like vignettes or something along those lines. With that one, you can actually add a fish tank in as well and be able to add fish into that. Or you can actually select between several different scenes. I actually listed off a couple, which were like the Orokin Moon, Cephalon, the Corpus Ice Planet, there's Eidolon, there's Earth, there's a lot of different things in there. And what you can actually do with those, at first I was like, alright, what is this? Like, it's pretty, but ain't no fish in there. I don't see any birds, I don't see any like creatures or nothing. But what you can do, they have actually created action figures that supposedly adopt some of your loadouts. So if you've got loadouts in these action figures, those those action figures would adopt those loadouts. And you could actually buy little posing packs for them. So we got our little eyes on some sassy little Excaliburs in there that Rebecca was playing around with. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. A part of me says that I'm going to play around with this, but I really don't know. Y'all will have to visit me and my ship to find out, because legitimately, I think it's going to end up, I'm probably going to end up leaving it blank for a while, because I'm just going to feel too overwhelmed. Y'all know I haven't customized my ship, like, at all. Regardless, this is one of those things that might actually push me to do it, because in addition to the center console, we actually have shelves. And I know that there's so many fancy people out there who made their own shelves on like walls and stuff. I couldn't do that. I couldn't be bothered. Like, my OCD killed me because legitimately I knew it would take me hours upon hours to actually get everything lined up, and I threw my hands up in my air and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. But now they've given us shelves, which I am very, very excited for, so you can get everything all organized and pretty, and all of those noggles that you guys gave me, I could go ahead and put and organize. So I'm very, very happy about that. And then moving along from the shelves, we actually have the Soma cord. Now, the Soma cord is a new feature which I think is going to be really, really interesting as well. You'll actually be able to change the tunes on your ship. This is the jukebox feature that you guys were talking about, and now you'll be able to incorporate it and pipe that music throughout, which I'm very, very excited for. You're going to be able to pick up the music on different tile sets. So, you know, each of these tile sets will have, I believe it's 4 notes that you need to go and find. I don't know if they're going to be in different spots in the tile sets, kind of like if you think about the Cephalon fragments, or if you think about the Curia. I think it's going to be something along those lines. So you can't pick them up for the plat. You will have to search them out for yourselves as collectibles, basically. And I think that pretty much does it for the personal quarters. Moving along, let's actually go ahead and jump into what they showed off in the planes. And this thing, really interested in. I gotta get back into it. We gotta get back into the move and groove of the day and night cycle, because they showed off the Terra list, how it sized up to the Mega list, and of course now we have the Reina list. I don't even understand. So supposedly the Mega list, we're gonna need something, there's gonna be some special way in order to get the Mega list, and some people are even saying that, you know, you'd be able to get the Reina list, like you would be able to get them individually, like in the night, in one single night. That's what they had kind of like inferred. They said that they wouldn't spawn together. So I think that you're going to have to do something in order to get the Mega list to spawn. So I'm really interested to see how that all pans out. They have different attachments on their arms and whatnot, so they're going to have different attacks. They have different looks, and I just really can't wait to kind of like spice up Eidolon hunting, because after the first round of Eidolon hunting, I burnt myself out. And that was my own fault, because I chose to kind of go hard on it. Like, legit, I was just sleeping in between night cycles, going in for the night cycle, going in for the kill, taking a nap, coming back for the night cycle, going in for another kill. Don't do what I did, kids. Don't do that. Take it a little bit slower. But I am excited to kind of mix things up a bit and see what kind of rewards they have to offer. Moving along with that, another interesting thing that they had mentioned is the ghouls. The ghouls are coming along with the Mega list. Well, I don't know if it's going to be along with the Mega list and the Reina list, but they're coming. And they're going to be handled a little bit like alerts, and you can actually see them from your ship. So you'll be able to go and find Hawk, and you'll be able to get special bounties that have to do with the ghouls. Now, while we're talking about bounties, this is one of the side things that they did mention, is that they are planning on making it so that you can repeatedly do bounties and gain standing for them each time, much like you do with the rewards. So the standing isn't going to be capped off. You'll just be able to do the bounties as often as you feel like, and then boom, you should be done for that kind of stuff for the day, and that's always nice. But these specific bounties with the ghouls, each of the different quests are going to have to do with the specific ghouls. They didn't mention any kind of special rewards to go along with them, but the ghouls look fucking cool. The ghouls are things that you want to kill, if y'all know what I mean. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to us because we haven't talked about us at all, they did say that they were going to release the Tenno Heavy Shotgun, so that is on its way. It looks like it's coded and working. They mentioned something about an alternate fire, but they did not show it off on stream, so I don't think that they have it rigged. Uh-oh, they're trying to call me. Give me a second. See, that's the podcast people. They're coming for me. Hold on, real quick. We need to go through this. Moving along. We have the Grineer Uzi, which they showed off a little bit. They just shot it a couple times. There was nothing really all too crazy or special about that. But they did show the Tenno Fans, and those look absolutely gorgeous. Everything that they showed, they didn't toss any mods on, I don't believe. So the fans didn't have any mods, but the moveset was pretty cool. Felt a little bit slow at its base, so I'm thinking that, you know, a Prime Fury will speed that up a good bit. Now, moving along from that, we finally get to Khora, which is what I'm so fucking jazzed about, because she looks so dope! Alright, so let's go ahead and cover her abilities real quick. First off, Khora has, I believe, 3 different forms. So the 3 different forms, of course, are Puncture, Slash, and Impact. Her first ability lets her toggle between the different forms, and it dictates what damage her whip is gonna do. So it's like an initial toggle, and then you'll be able to switch the abilities. Then I believe it's gonna be when you hold it, you'll be able to lash out your whip, and your whip is gonna do AoE damage. Anything directly hit by the whip is gonna be dealt more damage. Moving along from that, her second ability looks so cool! So her second ability is Ensnare It. Cracks the whip real quick, and what happens is it CCs enemies. It basically looks like it immobilizes them and basically makes them so that they can't fight. I guess you would say root or stun. But it slowly pulls them together, almost like if you think they're kind of like being pulled together and tied together. They take damage over time, and they're kind of clustered, which, as we saw on the dev stream, is really, really cool when you cluster them together and then you crack the whip right on top of all of them. That's really cool. And the great thing about that, too, because they are talking about the whole proc changes, which are coming soon, is if you kind of like switch between certain proc types, you'll be able to either, you know, inflict like a slash proc. Maybe if you're quick enough, you can go ahead and swap over, and then you can inflict like a puncture proc, which will cause them to do a bunch less damage. So now you've got these enemies CC'd, and when they come out of the CC, they just don't harm you as much, which is pretty sick. Then third ability is going to be the Metal Kitty ability. Yes, we can summon a Kavat. Now, I'll talk about the Kavat, extra Kavat stuff in a second, but basically you can call the kitty, and this one, at the moment, at the time, in the work in progress, the base duration is 30 seconds. So y'all, like, you know, Prime Continuity, we toss a couple other things on that, and that shit is gonna last for a long time. But we're gonna be able to call the kitty, and then we'll actually be able to command the kitty by tapping the button again. So if your kitty is already out, you can tap the button again to have them attack a specific enemy or a specific group of enemies, and they will go lash out crazy. I'm super excited for that one. And then her final ability, they actually didn't show on stream because they said it wasn't finished, and you know what, benefit of the doubt, but they did confirm that it is an exalted whip. So really, really excited for how she's going to be. It looks like she's going to be CC, damage, all that kind of stuff. We'll see. I didn't see, to be frank, I didn't see any survivability skills, but you never know, that might actually be tied into her ultimate, because as you guys know, Excalibur has the auto parry, Valkyrie has the invulnerability, so you never know, maybe there's going to be something kind of like built in to her exalted whip that might give her some defensiveness, because right now she's seeming like a pure offensive frame with a little bit of CC tied in there. Regardless, I think she looks fucking dope as hell, and you know what's even cooler? You can customize the kitty and make it look dope as hell too. So when you switch forms between, you know, puncture, impact, and slash, the kitty itself will actually change the shape of its tail to match your damage type, which is really cool. In addition to that, you'll be able to customize your kitty individually in the arsenal and toss Kavat mods on it as well. So you can also mod the cat on top of everything else. So think about this. Think about this, y'all. Remember when y'all were talking about, oh, crit link, that's great, my cat has like extra crit on it, like fantastic, whatever. You know, like y'all didn't think too much about it because you can't ever see your cat crit. You can see your cat crit now. Right? Is that not dope? I am super excited. I cannot wait to see all of that in action. Ooh, super kitten! way. Yes. Okay, so I think that pretty much does it. The only thing that I did want to chat about real quick is the fact that the proc changes are coming soon. I didn't want to address this at the very beginning, but the fact is, well, I didn't like at the beginning with the non-asset and stuff. I wanted to kind of address this with Khora. Be aware that they are coming soon. One of the interesting things that they did note about it is that re-procking the proc will actually make the proc stronger and last longer. They have a 4-page dev workshop where they're going to kind of chat about all of that kind of information, and that's set to release. The dev workshop is set to release early next week. So not the actual changes, just the dev workshop. Yeah, I gotta clarify that for you. So if you guys are interested, definitely keep your eyes on the Warframe website to see when that dev workshop goes live, so you can read into it. If you guys don't want to deal with it, maybe I'll read it to you. Who knows? Regardless, that about does it for now. As you guys know, I've got a podcast later tonight with the boys of the Blacklist, so I will see you guys there at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at Life of Rio's Twitch channel. I'll be on that, and then I guess I will chat with you guys real soon. That's pretty much it. So, as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. Let me know how you guys feel about all the things that you've seen today. Toss those in the comments below. And as always, that's all for #confirmed. Listen, I gotta edit this. I gotta go. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.